You're a little dark now.
Am I?
Or maybe I'm a little bright now. I don't know.
I might be a little dark. Let me see. That better?
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Cash. Oh, wait. I want to go down. I want to go up just a tad bit. There we go. All right.
That better? I don't even see myself, actually.
Yeah.
How do you...
How do I what?
Is there... Oh, I see that. That's interesting. I've actually never been on this side of an eCam thing.
Would you like me to switch you?
Oh no, I got it. I'm good. I'm all good.
I'll switch you. I'll put you in the pole position. Tell you what now.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I have a little option to see myself if I want to, but I don't really want to. So.
Have you completely like ixnayed yourself then? Is that what's happened?
Yeah. It just shows you, which is fine. I'm happy with that.
All right, Dan. Oh, there's one viewer. Okay. So, we at least got one.
Goodness.
It's very on the fly. We didn't know we were going to do this here. We thought we were going to do an obscure hotline. But no, well, alas, we are not. We are doing this here.
Oh, are we live now?
Yes, sir, we are.
Cool. I did not know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are live. I put in the description that you and I have never done anything like this before, so this is new. My name's Jeremy. It's nice to meet you, Bronson, from Audio Hotline. I'm a big fan.
Hey.
I'm a huge fan. Anyone listening can consider this a creator connection or an obscure hotline. It's going to be essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and we've got a plan of stuff we want to talk about, but take it away, Bron.
I mean, yeah, today we're going to talk about being shills, right? Because we're just big time shitty shills. Yeah,
big time shitty shills. Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of piggybacking off of Curtis Judd's video, which I'm sure a lot of people have watched because you're not the only person that sent me that video. Hank over at Free Podcast Tools also sent me that video. And,
nice.
He's also had some struggles with the YouTube commenters lately. And I had a conversation with a guy at Lowe's about stuff like something similar to this yesterday.
Really?
A little bit, not about Curtis Judd, but just people's entitlement in calling everything out. But let's talk about Curtis Judd's video because that was I really like the way he presents things. So when a YouTuber like him, who I view as very professional and kind of I hate to say like flawless, I kind of feel like he's flawless as far as his practice goes and his videos and the format, and like you know what you're getting with that guy. And whenever
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. And when he does a video talking about a topic that we've touched on, an obscure hotline, kind of made me stand up and pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. No, yeah, we have talked about this before to a certain degree. Well, I guess kind of thoroughly, but I mean, it's not bad to retouch on it because, dude, like things are constantly changing. I mean, even just yesterday, I was talking to you about how my relationships with companies are constantly changing just based off of like how many subscribers you have. It's weird. It's very weird. Like a company that I have talked to a lot and worked with a lot, the other day they were like, yeah, like we've had new products come out, but we just like you've done stuff recently and we actually saw in one of your live streams that you hate when companies like are constantly hassling you. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, I mostly was just talking about Behringer, but no, I'm just joking. But yeah, dude, no, I mean, it's just things are constantly changing, but I feel like the take that I've always had on this is I don't feel like, I mean, if you're doing a sponsored review, then I think you click that paid promotion option on your video. Otherwise, I don't think you do. And I know that a lot of people are like, if I got a product for free, I'm going to press the paid promotion. That's what I'm going to do. And I think it's like a way that they feel better about it. But I also think it might be a little bit of a way around being like, well, I always put this. So even if it is a sponsored review, they don't necessarily state that. They just say like, I had a paid promotion, you know? So I actually think it's kind of maybe a cop out for some people being like, I have a sponsored video, but I just put the paid promotion thing like I always do. So people just assume I got a free product and not sponsored. So I don't know. I actually think the paid promotion thing should only be used in sponsorships because I think that makes it a little bit more clear. Like I was paid money for this video. I think it's different. So,
and like Curtis, I do click that. If they just sent me the product, I click that paid promotion just to cover myself, just like he said. I do.
Yeah.
But and announce it. I don't know. It's just kind of like a default thing for me. But something he said that I very much respected and kind of had to sit back and be like, that's correct. Like, no matter what, if you are sent something or if you are paid to do something, like no matter what, whether you want to believe it or admit it or not, like there is going to be some kind of tiny bit of bias. There has to be. Because honestly, like when I get a product, like it's not within reach, but I got a Mayono interface and I wanted it to be good. Not only because they sent it to me, but because I'm rooting for them, which is also a little bit of a bias. I don't know if when I buy something, if my first thought is like, I want this to be good, because honest to God, sometimes I want something to not be good so I can, kind of shove that happiness to the side for a day and not be, because it is confusing for people to see everyone like every single product. And like sometimes if you truly are being real, you want people to see some real shit before, so they're like, no, this dude's real. That product does suck. And he's saying it sucks. But there's a little bit of bias when something does come for free, because I always want it to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, that's the thing. Like, you want every product ideally to be good, because otherwise it's just gonna, okay. We've talked about this. We've talked about this on Obscure Hotline, in the sense that we're like reviewing the average thing, like the middle of the line stuff is like kind of the worst. Like just being like, it's all right. Kind of sucks. Like to have a review be like, I love this thing, or like, oh, I hate this thing,
Yeah.
Like,
it's fun to be one extreme or the other. Yeah.
So, but I mean it from like a storage standpoint. I want every product to be good. Yeah.
I definitely don't want it taking up space if it's run of the mill.
Yeah. If it sucks or if it's run of the mill. Yeah. Like I want stuff to be good for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I guess the only thing that I came away with, and like you do the paid promotion thing and like click it, even if you got sent the product for free, I don't do that because, like he said in it, it is like a pretty broad definition of like what you need to do in that situation. And I don't know, dude. I go back and forth with, I used to press it. There was like a period of time where I did, and I was like, I got it for free, so I'm going to press this. But I'm like, dude, if I'm saying this is my definition from now on. If I make more than minimum wage in the product's value, for the time and the hours that I spend on a video, I'll press it. But
that
I
makes
don't,
sense.
And I never fucking do.
That makes sense. I don't think, I honest to God, I think when it comes to getting free product, I don't think there's a wrong or a right on that. I think it's just like whatever habit you've decided to get yourself on the path of. And it's like a default. It's as default as like turning on monetization when I'm getting ready to throw something out public. It's like, of course I want to be, compensated for my work. So yes, I'm going to hit monetization, and, it's become that routine. But that's a pretty good way to look at it, because when someone sends me a $25 or $50 mic, like, yeah, I'm not being paid. I'm giving more than I'm getting back.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I decided today after I watched this video. I was like, if I make minimum wage, I will click it. That's bottom line. So if I get like, if Neumann were to ever send me a microphone,
yeah,
that's funny. But in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, paid promotion. You know what I mean? Like paid promotion. I mean, you could even make the argument if the value of the microphone is like, or the product is over a certain amount, whether it's like 500, whatever it is, like, but I feel like, to me, I think it's more important to separate the sponsorships from the free products.
I don't disagree.
That's where I think that button matters, is like, press it if you're sponsored and not if you got a free product. Disclaim it both ways. But that's where I stand. I'm kind of like, that's what matters, or that's how I'm going to do it from now on. But
here we go. Thoughts on this?
It's interesting. Okay.
Go Away says, if you bought it though, odds are you wanted it to be good too.
Ooh.
I think it depends on how much. Like,
that's true too.
I'm okay if I spent, $50 on a microphone and didn't care if it was good or bad, because either way, I'm going to do my best to make an entertaining or fun video about it. So, and sometimes, dude, I am willing to throw away $25 to $50, sometimes up to $100, knowing that it's probably going to suck when I get it, just so I know it's going to be a really fun video for me, because I admittedly do love getting really bad products sometimes, because it's just such a switch up.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess I referenced this video a decent amount, but like the vintage series from Behringer, when I was sent that, I legitimately was like, hey, you know what? It's something different and maybe it's going to be cool, like, and I was sent those products for free, and you can in no way at all say that was a paid promotion for Behringer. In any way, shape, or form, you cannot say that video was a paid promotion. So it's like, it's a hard line, but he did say, like, I guess, but I don't buy anything anticipating a bad experience with the product. I think that's very true, but I do also think, like, weird reviewers, and so we'll just, like, sometimes buy, like, an inexpensive product being like, yep, probably gonna suck, but it might be a fun review. You know what I mean? AKA
Dan, thanks for
Mini
dropping
Mike.
by. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But Dan says bad products are fun to review too. He does tech stuff, and yeah, it is. I mean, I get sick of being a unicorns and rainbow kind of guy. It gets kind of old.
Yeah.
So
I've never been that guy.
No, but with Curtis, it's a real thing. It's something we seem to be battling more and more, is people just constantly accusing us, and we've been down this path a bunch, but for Curtis to come out and say it, because Curtis is a big channel, over 200K, and, a lot of the other guys with bigger channels, we've heard talk about it, but, truly, the worst thing you can see is exactly the definition he used, which is a shill, which is that guy cheerleading from the grandstands because they have a stake in it. That mic is awesome. And we see that. We see that a lot. And, I will never say that I'm 100% unbiased. It's not true, because when Loughton Audio sends me this LS208, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be fantastic. I've already got it in my head that it's going to be fantastic. So even if it's not like, a 99 overall rating or something, I'm talking in Madden fucking video game terms, even if it's not a 99, if it's anywhere near as good as I think it's going to be, I'm going to be a little more excited, because, bringing something new to the table, like this beast with this kind of off-axis rejection for a condenser, I'm going to get a little pumped, and it may fade a little bit. I gave a 10 score to the Samson Q9X, the XLR. I gave that a 10, but it was $129, and I thought it sounded broadcasty and beautiful on my voice. And but as time passed, I was like, maybe it was more of an 8 or 9. Maybe I was overly excited. But I think as long as you're in the range, like if you give something a high score and you're like, maybe I should have dialed it back a little, I think as long as you're in the right range, I think it's fair. Still trustworthy.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about it before too, but it's like, there's always that, like, what's came out after that, and it gets in your mind, and you're like, well, now that's not, like, why did I ever give that a 10 when this and this and this exists? But like at the time, that's how I have to look at it, is like, in that frame of mind at that point, that's how I felt. And so like with the pod mic, for instance, like I gave it a good review, and now with other stuff being out, since that was one of the first, it was kind of like that, more,
It was.
very very cheap, like like now I look at that, I'm like, yeah, there are better options, like period, and I would lower that grade or whatever. But
Right.
at that point in time, I was stoked as shit about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is new, this is cool. But
If it
yeah,
wasn't the
tough.
SM7B, I can't remember anything else end address, broadcast, dynamic wise, coming in at a budget price with that kind of build quality. Yeah, I gave the pod mic a pretty solid review too. And honestly, if you ignore the fact of just raw audio, because it doesn't sound that great raw, but it takes processing really well. So
Yeah, it does. It does.
there's still some pros there, but there's better. Like you said, that when it came out, that was kind of doing something not completely new, but new at that price.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only one that I could think of was one that I think I'll stand by. Like, I don't think it's a good microphone. Even when I reviewed it a long time ago, I didn't think it was good, but it's like the BCD1 from MXL, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
I used
not
those
like
on my
that mic.
podcast for a while because, again,
Dude, well,
it takes
because it was a
processing well. It
thing.
sounds weird without
Well, yeah.
processing, but it takes
That too.
processing really well.
Yeah. 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 No, and that's the thing that I was also thinking about after and during that video, is he mentions the word bias a lot and stuff. And I'm like, like, I was thinking about my biases, and I'm like, based off of what he said, it makes a lot of sense, where it's like, based off of your experience and what you work on and what you do and like what sound you like. I mean, shit, dude, like even the shape of our ears and the sounds that we like are a part of our bias, And that was one thing that I was thinking about, though, is I'm like, I think that there are two kinds of biases. There's subconscious bias and there's conscious bias, or like explicit bias, or whatever it's
Bill
called.
Lord literally just said something along that line. There we go.
Oh,
Just
there
to
you go.
piggyback off what you're saying.
Well, and so like the things that I work on and the things that I like and what I do in like my audio journey and have done and everything, like those are unconscious biases that I'm like, I might like a microphone more because it's aimed towards a certain thing versus someone else. However, I do think there is a very large difference between just being consciously biased and being like, because someone sent me a microphone, I'm going to give it a good review because it was free. Like, I do think there is a wild difference there, obviously. So, I mean, like, yes, we are all biased, but I don't think we are all biased consciously. Like, I think there are people that are, but I think that you and I do a pretty good job of like being like, yeah, like it's good for this and it's good for this, but it's not, like we'll tell flaws and we'll not say it's great for everything. Like, we're not vague enough in our reviews to say that we're being biased, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
and
like
I'm always going into it with the
specific.
goal of just simply not being, but I can also be, big enough to admit that no matter what I do, there's going to be a small shred somewhere.
Yep.
Because we're humans at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, and Go Away just said, like, I have microphones that I would have reviewed differently depending on headphones I used. Yeah, and dude, like, that's the thing. Like, your room, like, whether it's treated, like, if you're using studio monitors or you're using headphones, like, whatever you're using while you're reviewing it definitely plays a very large part in that review, for sure.
You have to be comfortable with what you're using. And if it's the reason that I can't seem to switch from these very run-of-the-mill Sennheisers, because I know exactly what sound I'm getting because I've cross-referenced those with so many other sources that I'm like, I am comfortable talking about this microphone based off of those. But as soon as I throw on something like these, it changes everything. Like it's I can't pinpoint exactly, if what I'm hearing is because of these or because of the monitors I tested on or because of the mic. Like, yeah, that's a huge and accurate point in my opinion. When I see audio folks, if they switch headphones much, I question things a little bit.
Yeah,
unfairly,
no, that's fair.
maybe,
And so
but
that's the thing with me is like being brought up more on like the music production side of it and like having that be my focus for a long time. like I'm very reliant on studio monitors, which means I'm very reliant on like a well-treated room also. So like if I had to do a review based off of like these headphones sound, I would not feel comfortable. Like I have to use my studio monitors, and then I have to use like, and I'll usually use like a little mono mix Avitone thing, and then my HD 650s from Sennheiser. Like I'll use all of them, and then I kind of get like a better idea. But without studio monitors, I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable doing
Yeah.
it, like being critical. Like and that's like one thing. Like I remember putting a review together when I was out of town one time, just like editing, and then I got back and was about to shoot the section where I was like going to tell my opinion, because I'll usually have that be a separate point in time. Like I'll usually edit the whole video, think about it, then give you my review section. But dude, at that point, I went in, plugged it into my speakers, and I was like, holy shit, like my opinion of this microphone has completely taken a 180. It's like, it's interesting. So I do agree. Like if a person changes headphones a lot, like I'm like, yeah, you
Yeah.
need some consistency.
I think so, yeah. And depending, on what they're using, because they're, you can get used to some pretty quickly and figure out the differences. But I'm with you on studio monitors too, especially when I do any kind of USB mic, because we know that the headphone jacks on those are just not, so rarely are those accurate. So I always use my monitors when I'm using a USB mic. I will stop recording the video. I will listen to samples if I have to, if I didn't do much beforehand. And those are, and the car test is huge for me. Like I listen to everything in the car, my own videos, our videos. I listen to everything in the car, and I'm like, because honestly, where, I know a lot of people are listening with headphones and in-ears and all that good stuff, but if it is a podcast or if it is a long form production like this one, like it's the car for me. So I assume it's the same for everyone else, but
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, I think the car is interesting, and there's definitely, it absolutely matters. It's one of those things that like with especially music, like it's earlier on, it's like definitely we would always go do a car test. We'd all like go and take the recording and go drive around and listen to it and be like, how does it make us feel, and like how does it sound? We wouldn't make a lot of like necessarily critical decisions off of that, but it would definitely, it helps. It definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, most people's car stereos are better than anything they have in their home.
That's very true.
So,
yeah.
Especially, music wise, especially like if I listen to music in the house on a Bluetooth speaker and I'm like, the production on this album isn't the greatest, and I'll throw it on the car and I'll be like, well, wait a minute. Okay. It's better than I thought. It just having those left, right, and if you're lucky enough to have, tweeters as well. Like if you have a nice full bodied sound, which most new cars do these days, then it's, it's just so much easier to tell. And then when I think a microphone sounds good and I put it on the car and I'm like, ooh, like, never mind.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. I know we're still talking about Curtis, and I don't want to get off Curtis too much, but what's your take on condensers and an untreated?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying hi to Bauer. He jumped in and said he'll watch it later.
Hey,
Bauer. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, condensers. Go away.
Just kidding. I love you, Bauer. I have found dynamics more forgiving, but I've had people say it's nonsense. It's a good question. I go back and forth on it, to be honest with you. It depends.
So it does depend. Yeah. So you feel like you kind of like you don't does it just for you like depend on the room and depend on the mic? Because I mean that's a big part of it.
Well, it depends on what kind of condenser. Because I find a lot of electric condensers to be just as forgiving as a dynamic, but as soon as you throw on that full size capsule and maybe, I don't know, maybe the mic doesn't have great rejection. Anyways, like here, what we're using today is a perfect example of the gray area between condensers and dynamics and untreated spaces. If I was just in a echoey room, I would have zero issues using this over a dynamic because it's a different animal. Somehow, some way, they've made this thing sound like not, it doesn't sound like a dynamic. It sounds like a condenser still, but the off-axis rejection is better than most dynamics that I've used. So, and then small electric, condenser mics, like especially the handheld ones, I don't find those to be any worse in an untreated room than a dynamic for the most part. But a cheap run-of-the-mill MXL mic, like I'm hearing all that echo. I'm hearing the sound change. So it just depends. But I definitely still think that dynamics are a smarter way to go when it comes to like doing a podcast or doing a production. You can get away with anything if you know what you're doing, but dynamics just safer.
Yeah. And so, I mean, a lot of it does come down to, a lot like what you're recording, how sensitive the mic is, the room, if it's untreated, treated. I mean, obviously in a treated room, use whatever you want, use whatever you want.
Depending, if a loud truck goes by and I'm using a condenser, it's going to pick it up a little more than a dynamic, even in my treated space.
See, and this is what people saying it's nonsense. Let me get out in front of that. That's fucking bullshit. It's not nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard if someone says it's nonsense.
There's gray area, but no nonsense.
Yeah. So for me, once again, bringing it up, talking about music and stuff, like it's going to vary very largely depending on what you're recording. So a singer that is a loud singer that's in an untreated room, that shit is going to bounce off those walls way more than me being like, hey, how are you guys doing today? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So
and your
if
proximity
you're
means a lot.
Yeah. And so like, if you're going to record a vocalist or anything loud in an untreated room, or, those reflections are going to be way worse than just talking on a couch in an untreated room. Like, it's going to be wildly different. So to just blanket statement, say it's nonsense, that's dumb. Like, no, it's not. Like, can you get away with a condenser in an untreated room for spoken word, depending on what you want from it? Yes. But, I mean, if you want like a voiceover quality recording, no. Like, I'm just going to say no.
Your best bet is just to speak somewhere treated no matter what. Well, make yourself a blanket for it. Do a walk-in closet, even outside. I mean, there's noises outside, but you're not going to get the echo of your voice. I mean, there's, if you're really serious about it, that's what it boils down to. Are you serious about it or not?
Exactly. Do you want to get away with it, or do you want to like really nail it? And like,
right.
Yeah. It's like, it all depends on circumstances, and I'm not calling him out or anything, but that's one thing that like Tom Buck will say is he's like, in a room like mine that's not necessarily treated, like a condenser microphone's fine. Like, but if you're in a different, if you're in a different space, that recommendation doesn't always carry, and so smaller rooms, just talking, not gonna, it'll be fine. It's gonna be arguably as good.
We have an unzipper.
Well, you know what I mean? But we're unzipping? I'm already unzipped, dog.
Pantsless, son. Yeah, but it's I don't know. You're right, because you can make it work. Like if you do use a condenser and you're just talking, and you get up on it, and looking like a claymation Xmas movie, lag on his end. I don't know. But more than likely, see, you're coming through clear as day to me.
Yeah,
but
I
don't know. It's hard to tell.
Weird, very weird.
Hard to tell. We like to be pixelated sometimes too. We're not. There's a reason we do audio stuff and we're not in movies. And
is it laggy the whole time? Hopefully not. It looks like it has been. Word.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, if you came here to look at us, I question your motives and I question your tastes. I question everything about your existence if you came here to look at us. Typically, what we should have done is just a black screen and just voices.
Right, and just talk. Yeah.
Yeah. What else did Curtis touch on that, though? Because it was a pretty short video. It wasn't anything crazy. I assume somebody accused him of being a shill for him to do this video, or just people got in his comment section, which we were experiencing yesterday, which we have we're not going to lie. We've got a little side group that we talk about comments in, me, me,
Big time.
Bauer, and Bronson here, and it's it's just kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
The ridiculousness of people. I do get sucked in by that. What's up, Scott? I get sucked in by that. I don't typically get in an online argument. I usually just let it go for the most part, but it's still just entertaining to see how people think. And we had a guy yesterday comment on a video of yours from 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Which you looked like you just walked off the set of Baywatch. You're all bronzed and tanned. I was like, oh, there's Bronson.
But this last time I went outside.
Yeah. I'm pale as shit too. If I'm worried about this summer, people are gonna be like, why does Bark look like that one, old guy that's always tan in movies? But yeah, this guy commented and basically told you to shorten stuff up, like get to the point and this and that, and YouTube's become this and it's become that, and like, dude, what? Like, why?
Yeah, he was mad.
He's the only person. Like that commented about, and I rewatched that video and I was like, I don't understand what this guy's trying to say. It's like this guy apparently just likes YouTube shorts and wants you to turn every video of yours into a YouTube short, get straight to the point and get out.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Bronson, I think you can tell if you ever watch our channels, like we understand if you don't find us entertaining, but we like to attempt to be entertaining because it also entertains ourselves in the process. So short, sweet, and to the point is just not my thing sometimes. Sometimes it is.
Well, it's, and so that's actually one thing, speaking of which, speaking of Tom Buck, him and his wife do a podcast that I watch every week that's really fun. It's called the Couples Table, and it's over on her channel.
Yeah, I watch
Heather
that.
Ramirez. It's really fun. And so, but one of the things that's really cool about that is if you are a content creator, they talk a lot about things like that and kind of the world around that and stuff. But, this one person made this comment that's like, a video should be as long as it needs to be to get the point across, like there's that kind of classic saying. And I'm like, yeah, but like also to keep my sanity, so like throw that in there to be like, I want to have fun. Like you and I don't do this full time. Like this isn't our job. And maybe if it was our job, we would take it a little bit more serious and like not be as goofy because I don't know, dude. I just know, I know me and I'm just like, I probably wouldn't,
wouldn't
like,
either.
So, but that's the funny thing is like yesterday after getting that comment, I remember I rewatched the video and I was like, A, this is shorter than a lot of my videos.
Yeah.
And B, I was like, do I feel like 4 years later I'm better at delivering information now? Yeah, like I would say that I'm better at it, hopefully. But I watched that video and I was like, yeah, like, are there some times that I would probably say it differently now? Sure, but there's nothing I would have taken out of it. Like I was like, it's fine. Like and it actually kind of made me feel good because I don't usually go back and watch videos from that long ago at all. I don't usually go back and rewatch videos that much.
Like me, you probably forget when you've done a certain video. I almost bought a Sterling microphone the other day because it was on sale, and I was like, I better make sure I haven't already done this, and I had already done it. Yeah. So it's like I completely forgot I ever did that.
I've done that. What mic? I don't know. There are some products I've done that with for sure, and but I don't know, dude. I thought the video was fine, and I was actually happy that I was like, yeah, like I feel like I did a pretty good job with this video, actually. Like that's cool that 4 years later I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, because most of the time we go back and we're like,
yep, exactly.
That sucked. But
like that's when I was hitting like a little bit more of a groove where I felt like I was getting a little bit better. I was still a little bit repetitive and a little long-winded at times, but it was definitely better than the previous stuff. Like anything before that, probably not great. But
if anybody thinks that about any of my videos, like I've got news for you. I'm super repetitive, and I cut so much of myself out saying the same exact damn thing. Like sometimes I'll be editing a video and I'll be like, why am I saying this all over? Why am I being so repetitive? Like I already said this 7-minute, book novel about this mic, and I just 3 minutes later I apparently forgot what I said and did it all over again. I cut so much fluff out, it's not even friggin' funny because I'm like, they don't want to hear me talk about the off-axis rejection for a third time. So trust us, we're trying to not
Dude, yeah.
be too crazy as far as like repeating ourselves about microphones. So I was shocked when that guy said that because I was like, what? What? Bronson get to the point?
That's the funny
you don't
thing.
really drag the shit out.
I don't feel like I do, but yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of the Buckster, he's here.
Oh, hey, Tom. What's up, dude?
As is Joe.
Thanks for stopping by. What's up,
From
Joe?
Red Cab Acoustic.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Very
Tom,
cool.
if you have anything to chime in about as far as we're piggybacking off of Curtis Judd's shill video.
Yeah.
And just I feel like it becomes more and more. I think me and Dan from Grounded Tech have even talked about this a little bit. I've talked to so many people that do the same things we do about people just not flooding the comments, but it's just so weird to get somebody commenting that wants to tell you how to run your channel. A channel that, just like the Hallmark channel, which I pass on when I see it pop up on my television, you've got a choice. You can, you know, go away or stay to play. It's up to you.
Well, dude, that's like, and this isn't me being like, I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this, but like, it's kind of douchey. But like,
coming from
I'm
you,
just
I
saying,
can
like,
only imagine.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a tool about this. So, but that's the thing that's funny to me though, is like, there are these people out there that are just like, they think that they're like YouTube masters, and they're like, do this and do this, and like, you got it, and they've literally never made a video in their life.
I'm not trying to get it. When they say, you know, when people say like, dude, you be so much bigger if you did this, I'm like, I'm not trying to be the Brad Pitt of YouTube. This is not what I'm just having a good time.
I'm doing audio shit, bro. Like, if I wanted to do that, do you think I'd pick something else? Yeah, I
God,
would.
yes.
You know?
I would do somebody said your ASMR test a long time ago was the best. I would do ASMR if I wanted more subs. I mean, look at the dude, the P120 guy that used to do, you know who I'm talking about, that crazy motherfucker.
Yes.
He does ASMR now, and he's just killing it in subs. I mean, I don't know about anything else, but like, if we wanted to be big, we would try to do something that is big, not something that when I leave my house, I don't run into people at Walmart and they're like, dude, have you tried that new AKG mic? Being like, what? Like, nobody says that to me. Nobody knows about, people question, like, why is Barker so, I've heard this before. Why is Barker so weird about microphones? What is it about those? Like, that, why does that bring him enjoyment? And I agree. I don't know why. I don't understand it either, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny, dude. Like, there'll be people that will sometimes, you know, give me advice, and you can tell that like they're struggling to like get subscribers and do this, and I'm like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, I don't know. The whole idea, like, when I go and watch a video, if I have nothing actually, well, I don't know. I usually won't comment unless it's positive, unless there's like absolutely a need for, well, no, I usually just comment if it's positive. I don't think I have ever really said a negative thing, but I don't know, dude, like, I don't get it.
I like when people point out something that I miss. Like, I do like that.
That's fine. Yeah, dude, I don't mind that at all. Yeah.
Or something I got wrong. Like, that is so fine. Because, like, you're saving me a little bit of mud on my face. So, like, as long as it's presented a certain way, you know, totally cool with it, because of course we're going to mess up, you know. So
that's the thing
I do like that. It's what I don't like is the whole, like, you know, someone trying to coach me as if I'm getting an email from somebody like, we noticed that you've only got this many subs. Send your videos to us and we will make sure that we grow your YouTube monetization by 38% in the span of 6 days. Are you in?
Dude, I get those like 3 times a day.
Yep. Yeah.
Like all the time.
And they're funny because I'm like, I want to, every time I see one, I'm like, who falls for this? But then I remember all the times I've talked to people that were getting money from a prince in Nigeria, and it's just coming any day now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Can't help you. It's fine.
But dude, see, and what you said, like it being presented, like the comment being presented in a good way is what matters. Like, for sure. Like, if I was ever going to say something that someone mentioned or that they missed or got wrong, you know, like, I would do it in a very nice way. But I think that's a thing too, is like with the things that we do, anytime someone comments that it's wrong, it's very much an opinion of their experience. And it's not like hard, cold fact. You know what I mean? It's like, those are the only ones that I'm like, that's a little annoying because, like, yeah, we have a different experience of that thing. Like, you're right and I'm right, but don't be a dick about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so, let's see.
What I talked about yesterday with the Lowe's guy real quick was like,
yeah.
So I went to Lowe's yesterday, needed a new stove. Didn't 100% need it. Kind of needed it because my wife's a home baker, and our current Samsung stove, Samsung make phones, not stoves. It just didn't bake properly. But
yeah.
So I'm at Lowe's yesterday, and like this guy, seriously, we figured we'd just get a Lowe's card. Let's just interest-free this thing, pay it off in a month or two. And he told us it was 12 months interest-free. Well, it turns out no matter what he did, it was only giving the option of 6 months interest-free. He was so nervous, dude. He was visibly like shaken, trying to tell us like, I'm really sorry. I keep trying. And I'm like, we plan on paying it off in like 3. So just go forward with the 6. And, you know, we're just being cool, cutting it up, talking, chatting. And he literally was like, I really appreciate you guys being cordial. He's like, this doesn't happen very often. And I'm like, I get it, you know, because everyone is entitled and everyone knows better. Everyone's got a voice now, whether it's a popular voice or a heard voice or not. Like, everyone can go straight to the internet and be like, Market Obscure Mics doesn't know what the hell he's talking about because he said that this was a cardioid mic. And in fact, it's super cardioid.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch lied to all of you. Like, it is frustrating, not only in YouTube, but in real life every single day. I hate to always throw out the term Karen, but there's just male and female Karens everywhere waiting for you to fuck up. They're just waiting and watching and judging and rubbing their chin and rubbing their hands together like the Dollar General guy. They want to see you fail. They really want to see you fail. And they really want to tell you that if you had what they had, you could never fail.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know, it's tough because like sometimes when we're like talking on our podcast and we're like, which I mean, like you can find us at Obscure Hotline on YouTube. Shameless plug. And then, so I mean, like when we talk about it, I'm like, are we the people that think that we're right about everything, you know? And like, it'll sometimes like fuck with my head a little bit. But the one thing that I feel like to not be that person, it just comes down to like, what's like the median of rationale? You know what I mean? Like what, and I feel like my whole life is very much a gray area. Like even literally like politics, I'm so fucking gray that it's crazy. Like I don't lean.
It's just hard to care about. It's hard to care about something that you truly don't have any control over.
Well, and see, and that's like, and so, I mean, I don't know. I think that that's one thing that I commend us for is I feel like we do try to be in the middle and see both sides to a certain degree, but it's hard. I don't know. It's tough to know if you're the person that's being weird about it or if it's tough.
I always think, I think as much as I can before I even speak sometimes because
it's, same.
And especially something going against us in this whole discussion. Sometimes you have no idea how someone means something through simple text. You know, sometimes a comment could look one way and you could jump to a conclusion and it's not. But it's these folks like the guy yesterday who told you need to get straight to the point. Like he made it perfectly clear that he was not trying to be constructively critical. He just wanted to tell you, you know, I think that video sucked and here's how you fix it. And it's like, oh God. Yeah. Man, it's like being in school all over again. Like, so I missed an answer on the test, you know?
Yeah.
What the shit?
The funny thing is like you could tell that he did not watch much of the video at all because he literally said he said something along the lines of like, he talks more about tests in other videos than actually testing it in this video. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I counted. There was an 8-second part where I was like, if you want to see this tested on this mic, go to that video. Like that's all. Like that's all I said.
Yeah.
He was like so mad about it. I'm like, dude, this is wild. But I do want to jump back I do want to ask, go away. What ASMR test are you talking about that I did a long time ago that was the
I'm
best?
not sure about that either. And I want to point out,
I got to bring it back.
and I want to point out that Tom said the best form of criticism is not watching the video. And there you go,
dude.
Man. That's nail head.
That's
that whole phrase. I mean, it is. There's a reason why there's some audio reviewers or some, video guys that I don't watch them. And I don't know. It's just, you either support someone or you don't. You don't have to try to educate them through YouTube comments. For God's sakes. Makes me think of camera conspiracies. We've talked about that guy before, but I'm on a roll with him again. Like I am so in his camp right now. He was talking about why all the camera guys hate him. And I'm like, God, this guy's so fucking entertaining. He is so entertaining. I enjoy the shit out of him. Like I go back and forth and it's like a show that you're not 100% in on, but you're not out of either. And then all of a sudden it clicks. Like that dude's clicking with me right now. Guys like him just make me happy, but he don't give a damn, And you have to not give a damn sometimes. Let's see. You guys are being a shill against people being shills.
That's fair.
I guess we are.
I guess we are doing that.
I guess we are. I will admit, listen, I'm gonna announce a bias right here, and I don't even care. Every single time Fi-Fine wants to send me something, I'm like, oh, it's going to be for the money, for the price. Yeah. I'm such a Fi-Fine fanboy, and I am a little biased. I really am. And it's not I'd much rather have this than anything they make. Don't get me wrong. Like this mic's the bomb. And there's some other mics that are just downright fantastic, but some companies have gained my trust. I think that's a more fair way to put it than a bias. Like some companies have really gained my trust, and I can be confident knowing that I'm not getting a terrible product. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a little bit of bias, but I mean, and then there's some companies that it's not going to be great, and you kind of know it, and it kind of sucks. And oh, Tom got the AM8. A lot of people were buying that again.
Dude, I've actually recently gotten so many questions about it, and I never had. Yeah, solid. So I might need to. Check it out too. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish the tightening knobs were a little better on the yoke, but I mean, like Tom said, sweet for $45. That's the thing,
dude,
for the money.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of Tom, I mean, dude, he put out I think it's a members only video, and it's worth becoming a member for.
Listen,
that cable,
kudos
to
everyone upping their game on the members stuff. Andrew's upped his game on it. Tom's upped his game on it. You've upped your game on it. Like, it's so good to get some exclusives,
It's cool. It's very cool. Dude, that video, him explaining that, like Soundspeeds, Alan from Soundspeeds, it was cool. Like he was talking about like the Rode XLR cables and how there are some options out there for actually less price that are a little bit better. And how they're not really all that ideal. However, that's the thing that's kind of tough for you and I, and for Tom for that matter, is like when we review a microphone, it's hard to want to use the best cable you can because people, if it's an inexpensive microphone, of course, like with expensive mics like this, I'll use a Mogami cable. Because I expect that people will probably use a nice cable. But with cheaper stuff, I'm like, I don't really want to use a Mogami cable because I don't want to have any issues, or I don't want to make the microphone be better than it could if there's like a grounding issue or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, I don't know, dude. That's a tough thing with reviews is like, you want to test out the microphone by itself. So ideally you would use a good cable to test the microphone alone, but no one would use a good cable in that situation. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I think that's why I use very run of the mill. Like, I don't know. I want to say I've talked about it before, but this all black cable that I think comes with Mayono stuff. I just keep using those because I try to put myself in that same situation. And the only Mogami cable I own sucks. I own one Mogami cable and it's noisy. And I'm like, what?
That's wild, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've had one Mogami cable. It's like a 6-footer that I've had for 16 years, and it still works, and it sounds perfect.
That's pretty good. Maybe I just got a bad one. I didn't get
You
it
must have.
new. I didn't get it new. It came with a mic I bought on like Reverb or something, but I was still excited. I was like, sweet Mogami cable with I didn't even expect this. And
yeah,
it looks
that's
great,
why,
but it doesn't sound right.
that's why he sent it to you, dude.
Probably so.
He up the price and it sucked anyway. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's fine. But yeah, that's, I need to watch that. I haven't seen that. Is Alan on that video with Tom?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
actually
I have not
in
seen
Tom's.
that. I'm behind
Yeah, it's
on
awesome.
some of my videos right now.
I think it came out yesterday. I think.
Oh,
but yeah,
that'd
it
be
was awesome. It was awesome.
I had 2 kid-free days. I wasn't watching YouTube at all. I was enjoying life.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah, I feel you. But I don't know, man. Like the Curtis Judd stuff, it's a hard balance, you know, and like
It is.
to go back to it. We've been talking about it, but I think the way that we should all probably handle it is just announcing and being as clear as possible. I think that a lot of people, if they have subscribed to you for a while, like, and there's a certain brand, like with you with Five Fine, like people are probably going to know that you're going to be a little bit more excited about Five Fine products potentially being good. But that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like you'd ever be dishonest.
No, if they send me something that sucks, it's going to be announced that it sucks. They've earned a lot of confidence from me, I guess, for what they're charging for their products.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know, dude. It's like, I guess it just comes down to trying to get to know the creator that you're watching. But one of the things that I love probably most that he said in that video is like, go watch other people and like,
you got
check out a bunch of different stuff and learn, you know, what these people usually do and what they've tested and what their background is and everything. And like, figure out who matches you the best, but also check out other videos. Like, I will never be like, come to me and only me. Like, I would never.
No, that's silly.
Like,
I've got a great example too, and it's very, very recent. So recent that only members know about it. Is Mayono sent me over an audio interface. I don't know if the PS22, and it looks fantastic. I was super excited about it. Not to spoil it for people who haven't seen the video, but I had issues. Now, Hank over at Free Podcast Tools at least claims he had none of the issues that I had. So either it is a difference in the creator of the videos that maybe something's off or not right, or it's a QC issue. So there's another reason. I mean, that does happen too. And if I get a microphone or an interface or anything like that with a QC issue, I can only assume it's not a QC issue. Like, I can only assume that every single product is like that one. And in my defense of releasing those videos, if you got a QC issue, it's still an issue. There's still an issue with this product. Like, you know, the chances of me getting one with a QC issue should be slim to none. Actually, I think companies, did you say this or I want to say you said this. I'm not sure. But
if it's smart, it wasn't me.
It was smart, but I think it
wasn't me.
It might have been you. I wish people, or maybe it was someone I was listening to. I wish people, like, sending us gear, open it and test it before they send it to us. I don't care if it's sealed. Like, make sure the product you're sending to I thought so. Make sure the product you're sending to someone who's going to be discussing your product on a platform gets a working unit. Because that Mayono I got had 2 glaring issues that I cannot overlook. Hank says he did not have those issues. Maybe I should reach out to Hank and say, let's send each other these interfaces. Let's swap and see what's going on here. But you have to watch different people. Not to mention we have different voices, you know, like you and I, we sound different on the LS208.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, you know, you may be using a completely different filter than me even. I think I've got everything jacked up as bright as it can be because my voice is a little deeper.
I figured as much. Yeah, no, I'm on 10 kilohertz right now. So I cut the top end off of mine a little bit.
getting old. I need glasses. I can't see shit.
I've always said that.
I've definitely got the high pass on. Oh, no, I don't. Shit, I don't know. I can't see anything. This gray beard, everything's going to shit.
To me, it sounds like you are like flat.
I might be.
On that mic. Yeah.
I think the high pass is flat. Yeah, it is flat, but I've got compression on.
Yeah.
I thought I had everything thinned out a little bit, but am I too bassy?
I think you sound good from where I'm at. Yeah.
All right, then.
No, but I tamed the top end off of the one, like the one, not the double, just the first 10 kilohertz, not the 8 kilohertz one. But hey Enrique, what's up, dude?
Enrique Con.
Yeah, dude. Like, we did get a question a little bit ago. So he said hi B&B. I like that. Have you tried the Audio-Technica ATM 710?
I saw
Much
that.
preferred it to the Earthworks SR117 personally, but no one seems to talk about it. I haven't tried it. Yeah, dude. No,
and there are a lot of people talking about the Earthworks.
Yes, a lot of people talk about the Earthworks.
I'm not that old yet, but I feel old. And then Go Away said, it seems there's been a general push of reviewers on Loughton audio microphones. I think Loughton just recently decided to go that route.
I think so too. Yeah.
And I know a lot of us got this at the same time. You and I got it at about the same time. I think Bandrew got it at about the same time. The Audio Haze guy got it around the same time. There's 2 or 3 more I can think of that maybe the Time Preservation Society. That guy's pretty entertaining. I like him a lot. What's up, Marty?
Yeah.
He got one of these too. Everybody, I haven't seen anybody trash talk it yet. So Loughton Audio was pretty smart to flutter these out amongst the masses of YouTubers, because I think I love the Bayer Dynamic M99, but I think this might be my favorite mic, period, for this. I
think it might. For me, it might be. Yeah. So I mean, with Loughton, the first time I worked with them would have been like the end of 2021. I did like an LA220, the version 1 review.
Okay.
And so, I mean, that's like the first time I remember like seeing them before that and stuff, but like, I don't remember them having like a big push with reviewers and creators online.
And they're fairly boutique, I think, too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they probably had to be picky and choosy about who got those V1, versions of their mics or whatever. And then I think as they've kind of grown and done more, they probably were able to do a little bit more with sending out mics for free, especially of this caliber, because this is not a cheap one. But
yeah, actually, really sad story. I had the LA220 version 2 review completely done, exported and everything. And I was actually like ahead of myself for once in my life with videos. And literally I go to do like a couple more things with a different video I was working on. Go to my SanDisk. I can't remember what it is. It's like the SSD, the external SSD. A lot of people have had issues with it. I was unaware of that, it was completely dead. It's completely dead, and I just completely lost that review. And I was like so behind with other things that I was like, I just gotta like figure out another time that I can just dude, redoing a review like full on. That's like the worst thing.
Yep. There's another bias we can talk about.
There you go.
Because your excitement's not coming through that second time like it was the first, if there is anything you're excited about. But it also amplifies your disappointments, because you're like, I got to do this freaking thing all over again. Like, seriously?
Yep. No, there was a part of me that was like, am I going to be able to do this review and like be happy during it?
Yeah. Or am I just going to look absolutely miserable the whole time? And that's, I recently did that. Like, I did a microphone twice, and one I just did as a members only, and the second one I changed up a little bit and threw some snippets of my other one in there, and I was like, luckily it worked out okay, but I was in a really good mood that day, and it's probably a good thing, because having to do anything a second time, recording a whole video and not having the correct audio source, something like that, whole thing's silent.
Oh, dude, that's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. The other day I had a corrupted It was actually really weird. Actually, a while back, I had a corrupted one from the Rodecaster Duo, which was really weird. And I've never had that happen. It was on the USB-C 2 connection, and I just was sending it to like an external drive, and it just was completely like the files were corrupted. It was rough. But then I had that happen with something else the other day. I'm trying to remember, but
Us, Obscure Hotline.
yes,
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
wait,
it was.
we've never done this before. We've never done this.
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's
we
first.
don't know. Hey,
First.
listen, by the way, folks, just in case, like if this is appealing to you, I'm going to make a little bit of a proclamation here. If this is appealing to you, if you like watching me and Bronson talk about this very niche stuff and want us to get a little saucier, we have a channel. It's called Obscure Hotline. For some reason, not nobody, a lot of the like hardcore folks from both channels are there, but we do this more often on a separate platform. So just something to keep in mind, help get us to that 120 subscriber mark. I think we're at like 111. I think we were at 112 at one time. We dropped down. Took us a month to get that 112, and then somebody's like, shit, I'm out, dude. Just get to the point on this podcast. I'm out.
Yeah, we got to do one disclaimer. It's not all audio all the time. It's,
No. There's definitely some opinions. There's definitely some other stuff, but we do other stuff. It's not just our boring audio channels.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, FNS Wrestling, what's up?
Marty. My dude Marty, real quick, went to a pawn shop the other day, and he thought he got an AKG P120, and we talk, and I was typing too, but anyways, he got this microphone, and he got it all the way home and discovered it was an AKG P120 USB, which I didn't even know existed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a P120 with a micro USB on the bottom. And thank you, Marty. Yeah, he sent it over, so that's going to be on the channel soon. I had no idea it existed, and I know most of what exists, I think, as far as like a time period goes. Vintage stuff that's like, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't know all that, but I was genuinely shocked to see this microphone. So shout out to Marty for sending that over. Joe says sex, drugs, rock and roll, religion, etc. That is Obscure Hotline, is audio gear, sex, drugs, rock and roll, religion. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually very fair for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good time. It's a good time. We're very open. Very open.
Yeah. And probably more open than we should be. I mean, one of the slogans of the show, which Bronson pretty much coined, is thanks for letting us be inside of you. Because the audio's entering your ear holes, and technically,
it's in there.
Technically, we are penetrating you in some way. LS208 has great specs for a handheld. Do you guys like it better than the Neumann? I can't do it. KSM 104 and 105? I don't know. I have never touched a Neumann mic in my life.
Oh, so the LS208 isn't a handheld.
Oh yeah, it's not a handheld. I missed that part.
It's
skimmed right over it. It's a broadcasty.
From a handheld perspective, definitely the KMS. But yeah, no, not it's a. Dude, does Loughton have any handheld mics? I don't think they do.
I don't think so either. I don't believe so.
It's the first time I've thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we've tried. I mean, even I have tried most of the catalog, I believe. And yeah, I don't think they have any handhelds. I mean, Neumann's just the one, right? What's the 104 and 105? I know one of those is a handheld condenser. Do they have a handheld dynamic?
So the KMS is it's a condenser. I'm trying to think of the 105. I think the difference is they're both condensers. One's supercardioid and one's cardioid. I could be wrong though. I'm not positive. Which I mean, for that, it can just depend on what your preference, I guess. And
Joe's got a mic for me. Joe, you've given me so. You don't always have to be givers, folks. Don't always have to be givers.
You're taking it though.
More of an RE20 size. I guess the Loughton LS208, it's bigger than a RE20, or it's smaller than an RE20, I think, a little bit.
Little bit.
A little less
Little bit.
girthy.
Yeah. Little less girth, similar length, I think. Maybe a little less length, but
I think
similar.
so.
Similar.
Love the shock mount. Just
yes.
Love this damn thing. I need to use it every time. It just needs to be my mic, but I paid for the Bayer Dynamic M99, so I'm like, man, I should really use what I paid for. But I think I like this more. That's a big statement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to discuss before we sign off?
I've got some really like random shit, but I mean, like audio wise, I'm not sure. I guess I don't know. I think that I guess the question that I have for you to end on the shill talk. Do you ever get comments where it's like, I'll never watch a review that someone was sent the mic, or I'll never, like I don't trust anyone that was sent the product? Do you ever get stuff like that?
Like people telling me I'll never trust anyone that.
Yeah, like, or I don't trust this review because,
I mean, I have in the past, but it's not a recurring theme by any means.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I was curious.
It's kind of rare that I get someone being just straight crappy in the comments. It's kind of rare, but I think that has more to do with my channel size. Oops, sorry, I just bumped the crap out of my table. I think it has more to do with just obscure mics being that much more niche. So no, not much. Not much at all. I mean, it's happened, but it's like when I get a crappy comment, I'm a little surprised. I'm like, it's battle day. It's time to go.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, someone talked about like liking getting negative comments because they'll just like talk like shit talk back basically. I'm definitely that.
Yeah,
I'm that guy, though.
I know you are that guy. Yeah. You are that guy, and I am guilty of sometimes, trying to be Bronson's knight in shining armor. Most of the time, I just like to have fun. I think that negative commenters are a fun social experiment. It's like a fun, like I get to play psychiatrist for a bit, and if there was one thing I think I'd love doing, if I had the patience to go to school for it, I'd love to be a therapist.
Same,
because I'm just so interested in the way people think and why they do what they do, and then it's really fun when I do something fucked up. I'm like, God, man, why did I do that? Because I know better. But yeah, when somebody like that guy yesterday, I was like, I'm coming in on the white horse, and I'm gonna beat this guy into a submission of the minds, and he did. He quit. I got the last word in.
He did quit.
It wasn't mean.
Yeah, he did quit.
But, I told him he was trying to give himself self-worth through comment sections, and he stopped. It's like it's fun. That's a bit of a victory for me. It's like if they can't come back with anything, it's like I'm gonna take my petty victory and ride off into the sunset. I'm not mean about it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, why are you being this way, bro? Like, Bronson's nice. Why are you doing this to him? It's not cool.
That's the funny thing about it is I think that you and I both do the same thing in the sense where, like, if you send me a comment where someone was negative with you, I'm like immediately over there. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like, you're dumb. I hate you.
It's like somebody insulting my wife. Like, how dare you say that about Bronson?
Yeah. But for me, I'm like, when I send that, it's more like just like, this is kind of funny and dumb, and I don't really care that much. But when it's about you, I care way more. I'm like, nope.
And I never get too upset about it. It's more just kind of fun. Again, it's like a social experiment. It's another reminder of what the internet has done to society. And that's a talking point I enjoy talking about. Like, the guy at Lowe's yesterday talking about how there's so many Karens, and when he runs into a nice person, it's almost surprising.
Refreshing.
And it's like, I am a troll warrior, but only on Bronson's videos, or if Bauer ever gets anything, or if anybody needs someone to go to bat for you, just hit me up. I enjoy trying to mentally outlift people, because I'm not an athlete, but I am a mental athlete when it comes to why people do what they do. And then sometimes people get the best of me, and it's a learning experience. So well, troll warrior.
But for me, like, I think I've maybe had a person be like, you got sent the product for free. Like, I don't trust this. Like maybe 2-3 times ever. Yeah. Like,
that's probably about the same. Maybe
much.
Once or twice.
And so I was curious, like, if you saw it or like if other people got it. And I do think that a big part of it is another thing that Curtis did mention is he's like, in a way I am biased. Like, I choose what products I'm going to review.
Yes.
You know, and like
Yeah.
there's a
He did
first
such a
line
good
of
job with
defense. Oh yeah, it was great. And so there's like a first line of defense right there where it's like, you know, he's not like he isn't necessarily biased in the sense that he's going to automatically love it or anything, but he's like, is this something I'm interested in, period, you know?
Yeah.
And so with that, definitely true. I think you and I are a little bit weird in the sense that we'll sometimes take on products that like we wouldn't necessarily always love,
Oh
but
yeah.
we're just curious if it's good or not, you know? So,
Yep.
but there are channels out there, and I understand, like, if you are a channel that is not going to do bad reviews, like you only want to do good reviews, so you'll only
Yeah.
do reviews of good products. That's just, you know, that just makes sense, obviously, you know,
Yes.
and that's fine. And so I
That
think
is
that a
fine,
big
yeah.
part of that, yeah, I think a big part of that, it just says like he did a review about this and he likes it. That must mean that, you know, for this use, it's good. And maybe if you read in between the lines a little bit, if they're not reviewing some things, you're like, huh, that's interesting. Maybe it's not that good, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that there is some responsibility of the viewer deciding how much trust they give a person, you know,
Yeah.
but
Or if they
I
don't
just,
care,
it's, yeah.
you know? And again, it
Yeah.
comes back to like, you do you. If you only accept product that you're pretty sure you're going to like, that's cool. You know, that's fine. You know, it's,
Yeah.
I still think you can gain trust by doing that. Like, good examples, Mr. Buck. I don't see him ripping stuff on his channel because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to mess with it if he thinks it's going to be an inferior product, which is fine. You know, it makes perfect
Dude.
sense. Whereas mine and your petty asses were like, oh yeah, send me that piece
Yeah.
of shit. Send me
Dude,
that crap.
Yes. I do want to just say I'm so proud that Tom Buck put out like a little bit of a negative video. I was so happy. He was talking shit on, not talking shit. He was saying that it wasn't as ideal of a product on like the wireless lav systems that are 2.4 gigahertz.
Oh yeah,
you know?
that's a
Dude,
truth.
I'm like,
That's a
dude,
truth. That's
see, and I'm like,
education.
and that's the thing is like, if more people, and that's something that Mr. AI Miner kind of said, is like, if more people did do stuff like that, it does gain credibility for that person. You know, them being
Yeah.
like, hey, I recognize that not everything's perfect. You know,
Right.
Like, I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
You know, so I think that, yeah, dude, I loved that video. It's definitely true. And I do just like the idea that, you know, people will actually say that something is bad. I appreciate that, you know,
Yeah.
because yeah, the glowing reviews can get old, you know,
They can,
like,
depending on how they're presented. Some of those
Yeah.
glowing reviews have little snippets of nitpicks that just, you know, that keep them real a little bit. And
Yeah.
to be fair as well, I think my ratio of videos where I like stuff to disliking stuff, it's pretty high because like I think it was Go Away mentioned in the comments. I think it was him saying something about like, it's getting hard to find faults in $100 mics these days. And that's so true. You know, like the stuff coming in now, that Free World XLR USB, it's fine for the, you know, there's so many mics that are good and interfaces that are pretty good. And it's almost like finding a bad one is like finding a gem now. Like getting the bad product is the needle in the haystack to have fun with, because so many cheap audio gear units are just nice units. But it's getting hard to do just downright hateful reviews. If something sucks, I don't want to spend my time on it except for the NW800.
Yeah, Tom said that. Yeah,
wouldn't it be cool if Neewer released a good mic? How cool would that be?
That'd be
if
so
Neewer
sick,
released a banger. Like, we need to reach out to Neewer and be like, listen,
build
a banger. Build something fantastic.
Just do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually using a Neewer product right now that I absolutely love. They're capable of doing good things. No, it's a battery. It's like a V-mount battery. And
well, they've got some highly regarded video pieces, I think. Like I've heard some big channels using some Neewer stuff. But microphones is not one of them. It's like Samsung making a stove. Not a good idea.
Yeah. But I guess I should disclaim when I mentioned doing good reviews for me gets old. Like, I like to switch it up and be negative. But like you said, like we can
to break
be
stuff.
a little. Exactly. Like, I want to break some shit occasionally. And there was like a year period where I was like, I haven't broken anything and I'm starting to itch. Like, I need to
Yeah.
like break something.
Yeah. You need to turn on some Limp Bizkit and get out the hammer.
Break. Yeah. And now I think I broke 2 things in like 2 months. So
Yeah.
cool.
My broke ass
Yeah.
can't break stuff, but I can definitely slander stuff. And I can just sometimes I like to plead. Like, please
Yeah.
listen to the audio community before you release this. Please. Latency-free monitoring is important. Please. It shouldn't be expensive. I don't think it is expensive. Like, please.
I actually would say, like, in that sense of like them not listening to the audio community, I feel like that is a lot of companies that are primarily video or other thing focused, and then they come into the audio realm and they're like, obviously this is going to be easy as shit, like it's audio.
Right.
It's not even, yeah. And so, and then they'll come out with like a USB microphone that's absolute trash, but
Most of them are not good. And that's,
yeah.
I think maybe that's one of the next things the market really needs to hit on, or people, because every time someone's like, you want to try our new USB mic? I'm like, not really. Unless you can convince me that there's something special about it, or, something really, truly good about it, and not just, that it has a belly that glows, like it's a glow belly. Like, I don't care if it glows. I've had glow worms and night lights and light brights in my, my youth. I don't care if it glows.
Yep. Is that Comica? Was that
no,
a Comica?
Syntech, and it's actually called the Syntech Glow Mic. I think it's available as a members only review. Join that membership now. Ting!
I watched it. I just couldn't remember the brand, but yeah.
It didn't sound that bad. It's okay. It's got a cool little metal mesh windscreen that goes in it. That's good quality. It's okay. It's just not bringing anything new to the table. And it's not priced to where you should care. There's no selling point. What's the selling point? Like, you're going to send me a mic. What's the one thing that, I should be able to help you move some of these units by pointing out? And if there is nothing, then there is nothing, and there is nothing on that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dude,
the NT1 USB was kind of special.
Yeah. That was actually, actually a pretty sweet product.
Solid.
Honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude, so, Mr. Joe Gooch just mentioned the Aston Apex. Have you heard of this mic?
I have. I haven't really seen much except for the vague little advertisements, but I haven't. No. Why?
Isn't it is it all glass? Is that what it is?
What?
Because it's called the Aston Apex Glass.
Really?
Oh, it's a chrome version of the new Apex. Okay, my bad. The Apex Glass is a different. I gotcha. Okay. I was like, what is happening here? Dude,
I do admittedly get excited when Aston does something, even though I've never used one of their mics that I've been like, hell yeah. Like, they're all solid, mostly, except for the Element. I get excited because they're like the futuristic Tron mic. Like, they're not afraid to be overly modern, but there's never been anything that I've just been like, yep, Aston, baby. It's okay.
Dude, yeah, hands up. I actually had not heard of this.
And
this is the first time I'm looking at it, and this is
they do
wild.
look like sex toys. I remember that. That's right up my alley.
They are. How did I miss this?
Aston Apex. Well, I knew they announced it, but I don't know if they've really said much else. Oh, yeah, that's it. It looks like the AKG mics from like the 80s or whatever. Yeah, I just don't know,
dude.
Man. I just don't know. I don't know.
Dude,
it looks like a vibrating wand. It does look like a vibrating wand. It's exactly what it looks like. And maybe they're cool. Yeah. I don't know. They're
interesting.
That's another thing, though. How excited can you get about a handheld, really?
Dude, I've actually been trying to fall back in love with handhelds, and
they're convenient. Like, that's what I keep in my carry bag, to save room and stuff. And I love handheld condensers, but like, how exciting is it really?
I do think that, like, especially the $100 handheld dynamics, I do agree with you in a lot of sense. Like, I don't love a lot of them. I think that a lot of them do compete with the broadcast style ones of the similar price.
Yeah.
But I do think that like when you get a little bit higher up in price, around like 250 and up, like it can be a little bit better. But I do agree in the sense like it's a lot of them aren't exciting. This one seems a little fun though. Like if Aston was like, hey, let's I think that they did send me the giant tube one. You just mentioned it, the stealth.
Yeah.
Like
And I like that. Okay.
Yeah. No, like it was cool, it was different. It was
Yeah.
it was so big, dude. It was so big.
Have you seen the shock mount they're
Jeez.
releasing for it? Like,
I can't even imagine, dude.
no, really, it makes it a lot better.
Does it actually? Okay.
It legitimately makes it look so much better. That mount that came with it was like, oh, it was dangerous.
Yeah,
Super
dude. Well, it
dangerous.
was dude, I was just thinking like, oh, this thing is gonna the mount is gonna be huge.
No, it's I
That's
don't know
awesome.
where
Okay,
that thing
good.
went, but it's supposed to release along with the Apex stuff, I think. But it is it almost turns it in. It's like a ring mount system similar to.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It's interesting. Yeah.
Where'd you find it? I'm having a hard time finding it.
It's just on their website is where I had
Is
to
it?
find it. Yeah.
Okay,
Interesting.
but it makes
Yeah.
it look a good bit better, I think.
Yeah, it does. It does look better. I agree.
Kind
with
of
that.
weird that a mic that was released years ago is getting the stealth broadcast. That's what it is. That makes that makes it look so much better in my opinion. But
Yeah. No, for sure.
I haven't used that mic in a while. I wonder how I'd feel about that now. Like
I
we've
was
talked
just
about
thinking about it.
re-reviews. I haven't.
Yeah.
At one time, those were around my podcast table too, and all three of us used them. And
Yeah, dude. No, they were kind
good.
of cool if I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. But
they were good.
I kind of want to get my hands on another one. That's one of
I
the
kinda do
few
too.
microphones that I sold actually.
yeah, I got
One
rid
of
of
the
all of
few.
mine. I had
Yeah.
I had an issue with the way it was built internally, like because one of them that I got shipped to me, if you give that mic a hard jar, if you drop it, if someone throws that off a FedEx truck into your yard, like there's a good chance you have
Yeah.
to fix it because inside it's almost like bread tie wires keeping that capsule suspended inside of that tube. And yeah, one of mine got all screwed up. I had to go in and fix it, and it's a hot mess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways,
Joe reminded us that handhelds are important and not all audio is on the internet. That sounds fake to me. I don't think that's real. Fake news. Fake news.
my counterpoint there is like, how much better does a handheld need to be than anything that we've got available? Which the same could be said for condensers, but handhelds, you typically relate to stage performance.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know how excited a stage performer is going to get about the Aston Apex. You know what I mean?
I
Like
know what you
usually
mean.
a stage
Yeah.
performer has their mic of choice for stage performances. I'm just not sure how expandable that market is. That's why I say it's less exciting, because I think that market is less expandable. There's less excitement surrounding it. Like with audio, the new hotness is what we are doing. This it's
fair.
just the simple base fact of the situation. Not many people are sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for a new mic to go out on stage with.
Yeah.
Usually going to be pretty happy with, the ones that are
Well,
currently available.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, yeah, handhelds are definitely important for stage and everything.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and quite frankly,
And
like
instrument miking in many ways too. I'm not detracting. I'm just saying.
no, it's just less exciting. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, so I don't know. It's actually kind of funny though. I think that if you were to ask a lot of people like what a microphone looks like, they probably would either draw like the vintage looking Shure microphone or a handheld dynamic. Most of them would probably draw a handheld mic, you know? So it's definitely, it's interesting.
It's the same as a USB mic. It's like, what are you bringing to the table that's new?
Yeah.
Whereas,
well, so like, but I've been trying to fall back in love with them in the sense of just like using them in this situation, which isn't necessarily what they are meant for, but I still am like, I want to like them.
yeah,
I think it's because I played live for such a long time and they were like such a big part of it. And now they're just like not.
yeah. And I do like them. had a delivery of a couple Sterling shock mounts that are specifically for, I don't think they're specifically for handhelds, but I like the look of a handheld mic and a shock mount, like one that's specifically made for a handheld. Like, I think it looked cool. And, it just, again, I can't remember the last time I was sent a dynamic mic that was like, ooh, baby, what's this? There's just not a lot of difference in dynamic mics. Like, they're either too bright or they're too dark or they're MIDI. You're not going to get a whole lot of like spatial quality from them most of the time. So condensers are typically a little more exciting to me, especially if they have that build quality and stuff. Like, how good can you make the build quality of a handheld mic that the SM58 hasn't already done? Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
It's like, it's a hammer, dude. It's ridiculous.
And I love them,
sure.
And I still use them all the time. I just, I just don't see one, and it's kind of like a car. You don't see a new Hyundai Accent and be like, ooh, but you might see a new Jeep Wagoneer and be like, damn, look at that big old sumbitch.
That's fair. Yeah. Woo. Yep. No, dude, and that's, Tom makes a good point. It's there's definitely a reason it's the emoji, the handheld dynamic. And I think the only other one
classic.
is the old school looking one. And so, it's definitely, it's a staple. But yeah, dude, no, it's interesting. I do, Mr. Joe Gooch, having tried the SR117, I do want to try that mic, actually. I haven't tried it yet.
I do too. I haven't either. Everybody seems to like it a lot. And I love handheld condensers. That is exciting to me. When there's a new handheld condenser out, as long as, it's got some kind of specialty, which that one seems to be fantastic in the fact that it's more dynamic-y, but you get more of that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sound.
He was saying it kind of needs, it needs EQing like a dynamic. So you may as well use a dynamic. That's fair. But yeah, I still kind of want to try it now out of curiosity. Interesting.
Me too.
A good handheld is the M88 from Bayer Dynamic. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would see, and that's the thing, like the M88, that's kind of what I was talking about, is it's in that price range where unless you get over like 250 to like 300 and stuff, that's where I'm like, like they're sick. And like a lot of them are good, but like the $100 ones, like I'm not excited about using those in this situation, but like the M88 is a little bit more expensive than 100, but so there just has to be something extra. There has to be a feature that really sets it apart from a typical other handheld dynamic. But what's up, Mike Newman? But dude, I don't know if there's anything else you want to go over today, but
no,
I do have a lot of juicy topics for the next Obscure Hotline if you guys want to check it out.
Go subscribe to the Obscure Hotline if you need a little more debauchery in your creator connection of me and Bronson, because we connect hard.
This was definitely not your standard format of a creator connection, but it was fun.
That's fine. It is what it is. Yeah. But thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm going to go hang out with the family. Bronson's going to go hang out with the family.
Cats.
I assume. I don't know. The cats, I've got a new one outside. Pretty excited about it. New stray. Come to live, I'll send you pictures here shortly. We send pictures of cats. It's kind of like our OnlyFans. We have an Only Cats site.
Dude, yes.
Only Cats.
Oh, man. I need that in my life, actually.
Me too. The cuteness overload. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time. Go to Obscure Hotline if you enjoyed this conversation, because we have this conversation somewhat often. Somewhat. Not regularly, but somewhat often.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting us be in you.
Yeah.